Thunder Nation, I have been made aware of some rumors spreading through the Thunder fan page community. I've heard a rumor that I'm dead. They're saying I'm dead. Look, I have 5 fingers. 5 fingers. Look, my mug is completely full. I am alive, folks. And I have come on to the Will to Win show to announce that I'm alive. And this is not AI. This is not AI. I assure you, this is not artificial intelligence. This is just simply the Will to Win show.
God after the gather, the two-step.
DB, those tears are but.
I have a perfect bracket this year. So 1, he is our second most valuable player on this roster. He signed Denver. They're only going to call something ethical if their team wins. Hello, everybody. We are so back. I hope you liked that little intro there. I thought it was a little creative, but no, I'm not dead, okay? I actually haven't heard anyone say I'm dead, but those of you who are frequent listeners to the show might have noticed that I have been absent for an extended period of time, about a month now. I'm ashamed to say it. I had my surgery, was gone for a month, came back for 1 episode, ready to roll, ready to bring it going and get it going again, go crazy with the Will Win show, and then I'll tell you guys, life hit me hard. I'm going to let y'all in on a little secret I have, okay? I am a nursing student, okay? I'm a nursing student in my 3rd year of college, and it's busy. It is busy, and it has hit me like a train this semester, and that, along with some jobs I'm working at my university, you know, they've tied me up a bit. But I will let you know, I will assure you, that I have still been watching Thunder basketball. I am still Will to Win, man. I am still Will to Win. I'm still me. And best believe the best is yet to come with this show, with this page. Let me tell you guys another little secret. There's a lot of little secrets today that I'm going to talk about, okay? Here's a secret. If you go onto Instagram and you look up at OKC_Will to Win, you will find me. I have a fan page on Instagram where I post daily content, daily reactions to games, to news, to all the excitement on there. And I've been way more active on there. So if you're ever like sitting there like, man, I wonder where that guy went from YouTube, you can find him. You can find him on Instagram. So with that all settled, I want to apologize once again for my absence. And I'm not going to lie to you guys and say that this is going to be me back for good every week again. This is my spring break, okay? It's my spring break. I have a little bit of time on my hands to make an episode to talk to you guys, which it's been marked on my schedule. I was like, spring break, I'm going to do it. I'm going to talk Thunder basketball. And here we are. But I'm going back into school, and it's going to be a grind. So I'm hoping, my goal is by the playoffs, we are going to be rolling full stop, greater than we've ever been once again. So I know, like you guys, I'm sure the regular season gets long, it gets exhausting. We are in the final stretch, and so yeah, don't expect consistency on the podcast then. Playoff time, expect me to start rolling once again. But if you found this episode, I'm so happy to see you guys once again, and I'm very excited to talk Thunder basketball, and not just Thunder basketball, because it is March. It is the best time of the year for basketball, but not just basketball, for sports in general. I'm a firm believer that March Madness is the greatest tournament in all of sports. It doesn't get better than that, right? No perfect brackets ever. I have a perfect bracket this year, though, so 1. And I might show you if you stay till the end of the episode. So you can copy it if you want to win $1 billion on Kalshi, like me. So, but that's not important. Okay, anyway. Anyway, yeah, it is March. It is March, and so we are going to talk all things basketball today. We're going to kick it off with Thunder basketball first and foremost, and then we're going to get into a fun little March Madness game I made where it's NBA themed, Thunder themed, but it has a March Madness twist. If you have followed my OKC_will-to-win page on Instagram for the past few years, I've done a thing called Thunder Madness where I host a little a bracket on my page throughout the whole week of first week of March Madness, and we go through like last year was the best plays in Thunder history, best moments. The best moment was Russell Westbrook's game winner in 2017. I'm sure that would be surpassed now if we ran that back and included the Larry O'Brien being hoisted in Paycom Center. I'm sure that would be my number one for sure. But that would be interesting. But to supplement for my lack of Thunder Madness on my page this year, I'm going to do a little bracket with you all here. So that is going to be a blast. So stay tuned for that. First off, we're going to get into some familiar content, okay? Some familiar content. We're going to talk Thunder basketball, okay? Because that is why we're here. We're here because of Thunder basketball. And Thunder basketball is going to keep bringing us back and bringing us back and bringing us back. So first, let's do a little recap. It's been since, I think, March 2nd, March 3rd, when I posted my last show a long time ago. Or no, February 2nd, February 3rd. It was a long time ago, guys. And I apologize once again for that. But we can do a quick little recap, right? We can do a quick little recap. Since I last saw you guys, the Thunder took losses to San Antonio, Houston, Milwaukee, and Detroit. That's all. That's all. That's the only losses the Thunder took in the past month, okay? How about that? Now, those losses were towards the start of those first 2 weeks, and it's kind of like we won a few games, lost one, won a few games, lost one. The vibes weren't up fully like they are now, spoiler alert. But I will tell you guys, there's a trend with those 4 losses. There's a very common trend in those 4 games the Thunder lost early in March, and none of those games the Thunder were healthy. Health has been a factor in every single loss in the month of February and March. That is big time. And there's only 4 of them, guys. There's only 4 of them. We are back to number 1 in the power rankings, okay? Unanimously. We are the best team in basketball. There's no debate about it. The hype is down. That's a good thing. People are less enthused. Back in October, November, December, we were the talk of the town. Everybody was freaking out. The hate was more than we've ever seen it. It's still there, but guys, we have settled into the season. We have settled in, and injuries have become a normalcy for us. And that is a good thing. To expect the unexpected and to thrive in the unexpected, in the perilous waters, you can still find a way to win. That is what the Thunder have learned to do, and it has been big time. Big time. Big time, big time, big time. Speaking of injuries, though, that will bring us to our hot take. If you could think of one critical factor or one piece of our team, one factor, piece, player, whatever you're thinking of, that has led to some inconsistencies and confusion and honestly lack of heightened success that we saw last season, we're still very, very good and we're right there. But what has the difference been? Health, obviously. But if you had to point it to one person, who would it be? Jalen Williams, okay? And my hot take is going to revolve around Jalen Williams and his health status, okay? It's a very interesting hot take, and you might not see it as a hot take. It might be something that I'm thinking is an unpopular opinion because I haven't heard people talk about it. I haven't heard anyone say it. That's why I'm calling it a hot take, but maybe you guys would agree with me. I don't know. We will see. But let's just go through Jalen Williams' health struggles this season. First of all, right, we come into the season, we know he had hand surgery. He played the season with an injured hand, played the whole postseason with an injured hand. You say, call us a Mickey Mouse ring. All right, Halliburton tore his ACL. Jalen Williams played on a broken hand for the entire postseason, the entire finals run. Incredible, truly incredible stuff. And he's a huge reason why we won that championship. Without Jalen Williams, we don't win that championship. Thunder are not the Thunder we are without Jalen Williams. And so he had that right wrist injury. He had that post-surgical procedure coming into the season we thought he was going to come back healthy. But then he had that procedure to remove screws that were in from the surgery. A small procedure. And so then he missed 19 games early on in the season, came back in late November, all right, played for a month or two, I don't even know if he played for a full month, but he played for a bit, a little over a month, I'd say. All right, and that's when we started to struggle. I think a lot of it had to do with, I thought a lot of it had to do with trying to mesh him back to this roster was difficult. He's a very on-ball dominant player, and bringing him back to the roster and to the rotation, along with other injuries and inconsistencies on the roster, I think played a role in our lack of success. Also, our scheduling, playing the Spurs, 3 times in 2 weeks was not fun. But as the story goes, January 17th in Miami, J-Dub goes down again, this time with a right hamstring strain. And then he returned pretty soon after, right before the All-Star break. Okay? But a few games later, he re-aggravated that injury, and since then he's been out for 15 games now, 16 I think after this Brooklyn game. So the question becomes, how serious is this strain? What are we looking at here? Are we looking at something that's going to keep Jalen Williams? I saw an article that did say he could be out for part of the postseason. And looking at that, I'm like, ooh, I don't like that. I don't like that. I imagine you guys would not like that as well. That is something you don't like to hear. But I am someone who's very skeptical of the severity of J-Dub's injury. You don't hear about it. It is silent. Absolutely silent. No one has said a peep about Jalen Williams' health. Which makes me think it must not be that severe. Because I think the Thunder are not ones to ever risk it and be like, we're going to hold off. We're going to hold off until we know that it's worse than it actually is. And then we're going to try to push him to play. No. If he was out and he was really hurt, the Thunder would announce it. He'd be done, packed up. All right, move on. That's what I think. So I think Jalen Williams, honestly, is fine. I think he's recovering still. I'm not saying the Thunder are lying, the Thunder are hiding an injury here, or creating a facade. But I am saying that the Thunder are definitely not in a hurry to bring Jalen Williams back to this roster. That's my hot take. I think the Thunder aren't being shady. I think they're being cautious. I think they're being very purposefully cautious with Jalen Williams right now. And that's not to say it's because we started to falter while he was on the roster. No, not at all. Not at all. Jalen Williams is a very, very critical piece of this team, and the more time he has to get better integrated into this roster once again, the better we'll be in the postseason, which is why if this is the approach the Thunder are taking, I'm not sure I agree with it. But the other hand, the devil and the angel on my shoulder, right? The other side of this is a big reason why I think we started to dwindle, lose confidence, lose respect, lose dominance, is because teams started to figure us out. We became predictable. Our offense became kind of singular faceted. It was Shea dancing around, J-Dub dancing around, everyone else standing there. The movement was off. Everything was off. I think Hartenstein being out for a long period of time played a huge role in that. Him coming back has opened everything up. I will take it to my grave. On the court, when everyone is healthy, he is our second most valuable player on this roster. Because, he just opens everything. I think it was, and this is very aside from the point about J-Dub. We're going to get back to that. But I want to touch on this, though. It was against Orlando, 0 points, 8 assists, and his efficiency was off the charts, right? And people would look at that and say, Isaiah Hartenstein hasn't scored. I saw he hasn't scored in the past 3 games he's played. He hasn't scored a bucket. That he is the dream center for any team in this league. Because that's one player on the court. Everybody in the NBA wants to score. Everyone in the NBA wants to be known and to get buckets. But not every NBA player has the abilities and the humility to say, I don't need to score at all. I don't care about scoring. I'm going to go and just do whatever the team needs me to do and above and beyond. Hartenstein commands our offense at times. When Shea has the ball, you best believe Hartenstein's getting it at the top of the key. Most possessions, he'll get it at the top of the key and he'll make something happen. He is valuable. Okay, so I'm not saying that Jalen Williams being on the court was a big reason we were losing. I think a lot of that was because Hartenstein was off the court as well. But back to J-Dub. Do I think if the Thunder are not in a rush and they're being extra cautious, that's great. Obviously, we don't want. I think this may not be as deep as I'm making it. Maybe I'm thinking way too deep about this. I tend to do that. That's probably the case. But what if it isn't though? What if he's fine? Little twinge of pain. He's playing. If the playoffs are right now, Jalen Williams will be playing. Okay, I don't think he's hurt enough to where he'd stay out for any important games. I think the Thunder. The point I'm trying to get at is the Thunder are trying to be mysterious, and they're not trying to show all their cards. They will not show their cards until the playoffs. In fact, they might not show their cards till round 2. Because the NBA is a game of X's and O's, and right now, at the top of the West, it is more than I've ever seen a mind game between the Nuggets, the Spurs, the Thunder, the Wolves, etc. Right? It is a game of chess. An absolute game of chess, and the Thunder do not want to show all their cards. I think the version of the Thunder we're seeing is going to look, schematically different in the postseason because Mark is experimenting. Last season, we won a championship because Mark Dagnall experimented every night with different rotations, different combinations of people, different set pieces, different things of that nature, and that's why we were so good because he found what worked and he wrote on it, and at that point, everyone else had to catch up. It was too late because they hadn't seen it yet. I think he's trying to do that again and is trying to pack a punch. Pack a punch in the postseason, late in the season and in the postseason with Jalen Williams and the difference he makes on our court. He completely transforms our offense, revitalizes our defense as well. He's critical. He is critical, but with that being my hot take, I know I've talked in circles there. My hot take, wrapped up in a bow, is that, look, I think the Thunder are being cautious with Jalen Williams. I think he could play right now, but I think the Thunder don't really need him to, and I think schematically they don't really want him to because they want to use him as a weapon, as honestly kind of a surprise attack later on. Now, here's what I would want to see. Sure. If that's what you've been doing, great, but I think it's time to get Jalen Williams back on the court. Because if he's ready to go, let the man play. It's time. It is time because if part of the reason we're losing is because of Jalen Williams' lack of chemistry with that offense after all the extended time off, he's going to need time to get into rhythm. We can't just throw him in the postseason, point blank, starting, getting, 30 to 40 minutes a night, and expect him to do what we need him to do. He has to start clicking, and I think he's going to need a week, 2 weeks to get that done. So I expect him to come back. Within the next 2 weeks. Within the next 2 weeks, I predict Jalen Williams will come back, and he will be on this roster once again. And we can pray to God that he does not get hurt again, because that would really, put a blow in our title chances. Although we've been playing well without him, but if you want to win a championship, we need Jalen Williams. He proved that last year, and it would be criminal of me not to acknowledge that. So, let's go into the struggles we've seen, right? Overall, if we're talking about this new year, January through now, it has been a lot of adversity. January was a tough month. January was very tough, and adversity was faced. And now I feel as if we're past that spell of adversity. We've won 10 straight. We are rolling. Looking back upon that stretch, now that it's all said and done, you can look back. The dust has settled a bit. Okay, what caused that? I talked about Jalen Williams. I talked about on the court stuff. 99% of that was health. And the point I want to drill down right now to all of you is that there has never been a reason to panic or overreact. Okay? And I know as people, the media sometimes does that. Overreact, freaking out. Thunder are done. Spurs getting out of the West easily. Guys, the Thunder have not been healthy. Okay? There's been few games this year we've been completely healthy. I mean, I can count them on one hand, the games that we've had all of our guys available for. Maybe one or two in that NBA Cup kind of stretch there before J-Dub got hurt again. But people in that stretch in January, people started to write us off. The hype went down. The hate went down because we started to lose. People were making fun of us. They're saying, oh, man, it's, war is over. The Thunder suck. Yeah. All right, the Thunder are hurt. The Thunder are depleted. Okay? You think that you enjoy that in January, right? People started to look away. And the second they looked away, we sprinted, right? We sprinted, turned on the jets. And guys, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is playing the best basketball of his career. The best basketball of his career. I'm not going to say that he hasn't been at this level before. We've seen him play great basketball. But this is up with his best. Okay? Notably, we're going to all point to, when it's all said and done, a game we're going to point to again and again is that Denver game. The 129-126 victory, game winner, peace sign to Denver. And now I want to talk about that game as a whole real quick because beating Denver 3 times in a row, that was huge. That was huge for confidence. Okay, because we didn't do that at all last season in the postseason. It's been a long time since we've done that to a team like that. And Dave Adelman's a great coach. Denver is a high IQ team. Playing them 2 times within a week on your home court, they're going to make adjustments. They're going to come at you firing. They did, and it didn't matter because the Thunder made it out alive. Okay, and that is huge for confidence. That stretch of games, those 2 wins against Denver, that got us rolling once again. Okay, and that is going to propel us. That is going to be a moment we look if we look at ourselves in June with Larry O'Brien, once again, look to that Denver game, look to that week, because that is the week where things turned. Okay? Keep that in the back of your mind. But going back to Shai specifically, we cannot get on this podcast and not talk about his excellence lately. I'm going to point to 2 games. The first is that Denver game, right? The reason I say he's playing the best of his career is because he's never been this efficient. And going into the season, I predicted he would be MVP. He would have an excellent season because of all the work he's put in. His efficiency was going to go through the roof. I had a feeling. I knew it was going to happen, right? And it has. In that Denver game, he shot 67% from the field. Gosh, 6'7". I'm sorry. he accumulated 35 points. And he played. And, I mean, that in itself, 67% from the field in a game like that, with incredible defenders on you, right? You hit that final shot. He had, I think it was 4 games in a row where he hit that step back 3. Now, people are saying it's the same shot. Different areas of the court, different directions, very different shots, but he makes it look so easy in the right moments. Clutch Player of the Year award is locked up. All right, Shai has that. He has it. I have never been more confident in the Thunder player with the ball in their hands late in the game than I am with Shai right now. And once again, I mentioned it before, my first hot take ever. What was my second? One of my first 2 hot takes was Shai's the best Thunder player ever. And he is. He is, and he continues to prove that night in and night out. And another game I'm going to highlight is last night's game against Brooklyn. You might say, why? That game was completely irrelevant. If you're looking at Shai's excellence, don't overlook that game. He scored 20 points. 20-point streak continues in 3 quarters, right? How many shots did he take in that game? I can tell you right now, you can count it on 2 hands. 9 shots. Shai took 9 shots, and he hit 8 of them. 8 for 9 shooting, 20 points. And let me tell you guys this fact about Shai, this 10-game win streak as well. A very interesting stat you might want to take note of if you're ever typing any arguments on the internet. SGA has only shot over 10 free throws twice in this 10-game win streak. SGA has only shot over 10 or more free throws twice during this 10-game win streak. Guys, Shai is getting buckets. Everybody's acknowledging it. Even his haters are acknowledging it. They're throwing up their hands. Except for Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown, let's get to you real quick. You're talking about ethical basketball. This isn't basketball, man. How many free throws did you shoot 3 nights ago? How many free throws did you shoot 3 nights ago? I'll tell you that. Shai hasn't gotten to that number in this calendar year, at least. I can't remember the last time he shot 21 free throws. Like you, Big Hoss. Come on, man. Jaylen Brown, take a look in the mirror, man. Take a look in the mirror before you speak, okay? I have respect for you. You're a great player. You're a good dude. I watched Starting Five. You and your grandpa are very wholesome, okay? But keep talking, man. Keep talking like that. Respect is declining. The respect is declining, good sir. But I thought of this too. I thought of this for Jaylen Brown. I'm not gonna hold him accountable. He's following trends. He's following what everyone else is saying, right? There's a quote I love. It's a quote that I have. I'm sure I'm not the first to say it, but I love this quote. And it's something I want you guys can use this quote because it explains everything in a nutshell. It's only ethical basketball when your team wins. Ethical basketball for NBA online, what do you call them? Commentators, commenters. I don't even want to give them a name because they don't have any significant place in the grand scheme of things. They're only going to call something ethical if their team wins. That is the truth of the matter. People are angry the Thunder are winning. People are angry a small market team from Oklahoma made of a bunch of fun guys who aren't on their team is winning a game. People don't like it. People don't like it when small markets have success. That's a fact of the matter. And it's only unethical because it's not their team doing it. Okay? And we're above that. Thunder fans, we rise above that. And we keep on rolling. We keep on going. Look at where we are. Look at where all this has led us to. Number 1 in the league, number 1 in the West. Rolling once again. Great odds at going back to back. So, with that, let's get into hats off. All right, everybody, I want to start hats off with just a little bit of trivia. Okay, a little bit of trivia. Now, if you're like me and you live in Oklahoma, spend a lot of time in Oklahoma, think you know basketball in Oklahoma, all right? Very, very baseline level. This is not deep ball knowledge, okay? But I'm talking about, it's March, the spirit of March, man. March Madness starts today. But in the spirit of March, I have a question for you, trivia question. What is the best college basketball team in Oklahoma this year? Who is the best team? Who has been the best college team in Oklahoma this year? I'm going to give you 5 seconds. Say a name. Say a team. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come on now. The Tulsa Golden Hurricane, folks. Now, the reason I'm wearing this hat for Hats Off today, the real reason is because I left my cowboy hat, my usual hat, the iconic hat, at home in Oklahoma and Tulsa, and this hat is all we got. I mean, I brought this hat because I'm at the lake and I'm wearing it. But this hat right here, man, repping the best college team in Oklahoma, the Tulsa Golden Hurricane. Did you get it right? Let me know in the comments down below. Let me know if you got it right. I'm going to give a shameless plug here for my Golden Hurricane. All right. They're in the NIT right now, the National Invitational Tournament, big time. First time since, gosh, I don't know. They won one back in the day. But it's huge for the school. Man, they won the first round against UT Stephen F. Austin. And they are playing UNLV at home on Sunday on, I think, ESPNU. So turn that game on, guys. Turn that game on. Support the Golden Hurricane. Do it for your state, man. Oklahoma deserves this. They deserve a college team to win the NIT. Come on. Or, Oklahoman college team, not OSU. Come on, that's lame. We need the Golden Hurricane to rise to dominance, okay? Anyway, back to the Thunder. This is the hat. The only reason I'm talking about Tulsa is because it's on the hat. So I had to make it relevant. Now, hats off. Now, this guy right here. Spoiler, it's not Shea. I already talked about Shea. I didn't ignore Shea, right? He should obviously be the hats off winner. But I need to touch on this guy. I need to speak about him because he has been a huge reason why the Thunder are winning games and having success right now. He is, I think, a big reason why the Thunder had that turning point a few weeks ago. Okay? Now, think back to my trade deadline post or my trade deadline podcast post, whatever you saw. I had categories of players that Thunder would target, all right? Big men, snipers, and ball-dominant bucket getters. Not necessarily has to be ball-dominant, but someone off the bench guard to get buckets. Thunder went and got one. I haven't talked to you guys on this show since the Thunder traded for this man, okay? And let me tell you, this is one of the greatest trades in Thunder history. Obviously not number one. We know what number one is, but it's at least top. I think it's top 5 because this man has scored over 20 points off the bench for us 4 times in his short tenure. This guy was riding the bench of his former team. He was riding the bench, okay? And he has fit like a glove on the best team in the league. Legit minutes, legit production, star potential in his second year. I'm imagining 2 years ago, Sam Presti had him on his board, on the top of that board. Couldn't get to him, but I imagine this is someone Presti's had his eyes on for a long time because he knows talent. He knows the type of guy that he wants in this locker room. Think back, folks. Think back to 2012. We had a young, promising guard off our bench, right? 6-man. Incredible talent named James Harden, right? This GM comes in, takes him from us, man. Scare money. Didn't make any, right? Scare money didn't make any. Presti's biggest, his famous mistake, right? Daryl Morey, man, he stole James Harden from us. Let me tell you guys, I think we might be getting our revenge for the James Harden trade. Daryl Morey, thank you. Thank you, Daryl Morey. I love you, good sir. You gave us this man for nothing. And you sold high on him. Daryl Morey, this is your James Harden trade. This is and I see people saying, and this is something I'm getting into today. I'm not going to get into it. Oh, Seattle will pick him up in the expansion draft. We'll tell you guys this. This man is getting protected. He's going to be a Thunder for a long time because he is a special talent. I've glazed too much. It's time to give him the hat. For the first time in Thunder history, hats off to Jared McCain. Jared McCain, you are incredible, my friend. You are the light in this roster. Well, Jay Will is the light as well. I mean, Shay's the light. Oh, they're all the light. What am I saying? I'm glazing so hard right now. But you are a ray of sunshine. You are a ray of sunshine, Jared McCain. Gosh. I gotta stop. The glaze is high this episode, but that is because he deserves it. Jared, congratulations. I hope you take this honor as your first big time honor in Oklahoma City. Before you win, all-star appearances, championships in this team, just remember who gave you your first hats off victory. All right. So, with that done and squared, let's have some fun, my friends, because it is March. Will to win show, man. It's the Will to win show. Will to win show, man. Will to win show. All right, everybody. Let me introduce you to our little game we're going to play here. It is March. March Madness begins today, and I couldn't do this episode without bringing some March Madness spirit to it. So, without further ado, let me introduce you to March Madness 25-26 NBA style. Okay, NBA style. All right. Now that you see this, I'm sure you're understanding exactly how this works. I'm not going to spend too much time on this, and there's a lot of matchups we're going to have to go through, so we're going to kind of rapid fire this. Don't want to take too much of your time, but this is just for fun and games. So, we're going to go through this bracket, and this is based on the NBA's power rankings right now. Who is dominant? Obviously, you can see who the 1 seed is, you see who the favorite is, you can see who I'm likely going to pick to win, but you never know. I could predict an upset, all right? Anything's possible in March. So, right now, though, I want you to play along. I want this to be fun for you. So, I encourage you, take a little screenshot. Now, this is a fun trick I learned on iPhone. I'm a boomer. Here's a fun trick I learned, okay? If you screenshot, and if you're watching a computer, you can figure out a way to do this. You can write it down or whatever you want to do. You can fill out this bracket before I do this. You can fill it out. And we'll see if we think the same. We can see if your bracket is the same as mine. We can compare and contrast for fun, you know. It's what people who have fun do. But you can, so back to the iPhone. You can screenshot, okay, and you can use the little pen feature. If you click those little 3 dots, you can click the pen, and you can like scribble in, you know, like Clippers, Rockets, Nuggets, and then fill out your bracket that way manually, quickly. So if you want to do that, you can. If not, you can just watch and follow along and just, you know, disappointedly disagree with me. Let me know in the comments down below if I miss any of these, like if you're just angry or like you're like, oh yeah, he made a good pick. Comment in fact right now, comment who is your winner of, if the NBA right now said screw the rest of the season, screw the playoffs, screw all of this, we are battling it out March Madness style right here, right now. Who is gonna win? Okay. And this is based on the current state of the NBA. It's not like injuries are off or anything. This is based on the NBA's current state right now. Okay, how the teams are doing right now. So keep that in mind when you fill this out, or when you look at this, and when you judge me, okay, for my picks. But I'm gonna let you pause. If you want to fill it out, I'll stare at you while you do it. But yeah, go ahead and pause right now. All right, we're done. Okay, back to the bracket. Here we go. Clippers Hornets 16-17 matchup, man. This is a heater right here to advance to play the 1-seeded Thunder. Woo! In the next round. Thunder get a bye, Spurs get a bye, obviously top 2 teams in basketball. Okay. I'm looking at this, and healthy Kawhi is scary. Hornets are tough though. I like Charlotte. To an extent, I like that meme of LaMelo and what's his name? Oh, is that Musa Diabate? Is that his name? But you know, they're wholesome. They got good vibes. So based on vibes, we're gonna go with Charlotte. And boom. Okay, Rockets Grizzlies. I gotta go quicker here. You know what? If you have to pick an upset, right? If you have to pick an upset, who are you gonna pick? Not Memphis. And I was thinking, you know, maybe Memphis. As I was looking at this, I was like, this could be the Memphis's round here, because they just beat Denver last night. So if you're looking at that, you might think, okay, now what is this software doing? I cannot figure this out. Okay, boom, don't judge me. I'm technologically impaired. Here we go. Rockets on to the next round. I don't know. I think the Grizzlies give them a fight, but we're not worried. Nuggets, Mavs, give me Denver. And I'm telling you guys right now, I'm not one of those guys who's just going to be like, pick the higher sheet every time. But I do know ball as well. I like to think I know ball. And I don't think the Nuggets are losing in round 1 to the Mavs. Celtics, Wizards. Now, keep in mind here, too, that it's win or go home. And this is NBA talent, all right? Every team is fighting for their life in this simulation, right? So with that in mind, there might be some legitimate upsets that, you know, like if the best players in the world are fighting for their lives, the Wizards might be the Celtics, but not in my rendition of this bracket. The Wizards are not being the Celtics. Heat and the Blazers. My first upset of the day. Give me Portland, man. Give me Portland. Call me crazy. I'll take the Blazers. Okay. Suns, Bucks. You know what? Give me Milwaukee, because I respect the hell out of Giannis, because he is going to keep on playing until the wheels fall off. He ain't a tanker. He ain't going to sit his butt down while everyone else plays. No. And I think Giannis is going to fight like hell and is going to be a hard out for anybody in this tournament. Give me Milwaukee. Second straight upset. And then give me New York as well. The Knickerbockers. Boom. All right. Raptors, 76ers. Give me Toronto. They would fight their way out of round 1. I have faith in them. Okay. Wolves, Pels. We're not worried about New Orleans, right? If you're picking, you know, like I said, any team can win on any given night in this tournament, but not New Orleans. They're excluded from that, and that notion. Sorry, New Orleans. All right, Cleveland, Utah. Give me the Cavs. Give me the Cavs. We're not worried about Utah, too. Like, respectfully, the Jazz had their heyday, man, with Donovan Mitchell, Rudy Gobert. They beat us that one year. That was a championship. Congrats to Utah, man, for that championship in 2018. But you are a first-round exit in NBA Madness. Okay. Pistons, Pacers. Like I said, this is present. No, injuries are still on. So Pistons are taking down the Pacers. Halliburton's not playing. Hawks, Warriors. I truly believe that if you put Stephen Curry in a March Madness style bracket, he's going to go insane. So, like I said, every player is playing like they said last game. Warriors advance. Magic, Bulls. Give me Orlando. I think they'll fight. They're going to fight hard. Okay. They're going to fight hard. I like Orlando. The way they fought against us, man, they could beat a lot of teams. And I think they're a threat in the East. I think they are a legitimate threat. We'll get into who I think is coming out of the East in a little bit here. We'll get into, like I said, stay tuned. We're going to go through kind of playoff prediction, a little early playoff prediction as the episode closes after this bracket gets filled. Lakers, Kings. Gosh, I want to make the Lakers first round exit. You know what? It's time for a Cinderella, man. It's time for a Cinderella. Oh, shoot. Give me Sacramento. Give me Sacramento. Hey, call me crazy. Russ is not losing in the first round of March Madness. Russell Westbrook is not a first round exit, guys. Okay? He has taken that team past the Lakers. Firmly believe it. No question on this round 2 matchup. Thunder Hornets. Our boys advance. We're not worried, although we did lose by 30 to them early on in the season. We're not worried in the March Madness style format. Rockets, Nuggets. Gosh. Who's going to play with more urgency? That's the question here. Who's going to play with more urgency? I like Denver. I don't know. I mean, they're a 3 seed. We'll go with Denver. I think that honestly tosses for me right now. Denver Nuggets are not playing great basketball. Boston, I think, is going to play with urgency. They're going to, like, in this top of this bracket here, Thunder don't really get a great region here. This is brutal. Thunder, Nuggets, Celtics, Bucks, Knicks. Give me Giannis, man. Hey, he is playing harder than anybody else in this tournament. Okay, and Giannis can beat people 1-on-5. Okay, I'm taking Giannis over the Knicks. Call me crazy, call me insane. Cat is not holding up to Giannis in a March Madness style format. I'm sorry, it's just not happening. Spurs, Raptors. I also think maybe Wemby might be playing just as hard as Giannis, though. If there's one thing I respect about Wemby, I respect how hard he plays when it matters. And when it doesn't matter, too. He plays hard no matter. If he steps on the court, he's going to play hard. I respect that about him. No different here. Spurs advance. Wolves, Cavs. I don't trust Harden in a March Madness style format. Give me the Wolves. Although I like the Cavs, I don't like Harden. I don't think he'd get the job done. Pistons, Warriors. The Pistons, I believe, this year are going to have a year of we're good, we're great, we make it to the playoffs, kind of like how we did in 24. We make it, we get humbled, we learn, we grow, we're back next year. I think in March Madness, it's no different. Do I think that happens against Golden State, though? I do not, because I don't think Steph Curry can do it on his own, which that's what he's going to have to do. If the Warriors want to do anything, it's going to have to come from Steph Curry. But give me Detroit. Give me Detroit. Orlando, Sacramento. Give me Orlando. Russ had a good run, but he's not a first-round exit. But Orlando, I think he's too tough. They are too tough in this format. Now, Thunder, Nuggets. Give me OKC. Come on, man. It's, in a March Madness style format, like I said again, no team is playing harder than the Thunder. Come on, in that crowd too, it's game over, man. It's game over. Boston, Milwaukee. Give me Giannis. Give me Giannis. Hey, call me insane. Call me insane. I might be insane. But I'm looking at the bigs in Boston. And if Giannis is going to do what I think he's going to do in this March Madness tournament, no big they have is going to hold up to that. Nothing they have in that front court is going to hold up to that beast. All right. So this is for a Final Four spot. Thunder, Bucks in the Final Four. Who's going to round up the Final Four? Give me San Antonio. I think the 2 seed goes the distance here. And then Pistons Orlando. This is kind of a weak in this bracket here. I think give me Orlando. Give me Orlando to shock the world a little bit and, make some noise. Give me Orlando. I think they play hard. I think they play hard and make the Pistons. I think are not making it to the Final Four in their first competitive year. Thunder Bucks. Now, the Cinderella run is over for Milwaukee. You got to have a Cinderella, but they face the Thunder, and it's not going to happen. Spurs Orlando. Give me the Spurs, and I hate that it has come to a 1-2 matchup, but I do think these are the best two teams in basketball. Two teams that are brightest futures, two teams that are playing the hardest, the two teams that would dominate in a March Madness style format tournament. But the Thunder would win this tournament by a landslide. All right, they 30-piece the Spurs in the final. No, I'm kidding. It comes down to the wire. Thunder pull it off, though. I think Shea is just playing too good right now for me to ever pick against my guys. Call me biased, or just call me a Thunder, podcaster. You can call me that too. But that is my bracket. Let me know what you think. How did I compare to yours? Let me know. Is this crazy? Is this a terrible bracket? The Milwaukee stuff might have been a little ambitious, but I thought you gotta have Cinderella, though. You gotta have a Cinderella because in March anything is possible. And if I'm picking a March Madness Cinderella, icon, I'm picking Giannis to be that guy out of anybody in the bottom 20s, right? So with that closes our fun little March Madness extravaganza, and we will go to the weather report. All right, guys, it's late March. All right, season is winding down. We just finished Game 70. All right, it's crunch time. Out of nowhere, it's crunch time. It's playoffs around the corner. It's that time of year. It feels like we just got out of the postseason last year. What a stressful time that was. I'm ready for it. I'm excited for it. We're a great team. We've earned this. And as fans, we're in the golden age of Thunder basketball. And so I'm so excited. But it's time to lock in. We need the 1 seed. The first thing I want to emphasize to you guys going into this next final month of the season, we have to be the 1 seed. There's no if, ands, or buts about it. We have to be the 1 seed because without the outright number 1 seed across the league last year, we would not have been champions. That home crowd won us so many games. We have to have the home court advantage throughout every single round because the league is too good. The league is too good to not have that advantage, okay? So now, who stands in our way? Who's a threat? Right now, we're the one outright. 3.5 games ahead of San Antonio. If we don't have the home court advantage in a series against San Antonio, I'd be scared. I would be scared. I still am scared going into a series with them with the home court advantage. But we're 3.5 games ahead of them. But we have a difficult road here. Difficult schedule ahead in this next month. We play the Celtics, the Knicks, the Pistons, the Lakers again, the Clippers, the Nuggets, and the Suns. Wow. Top 3 in the East, I think. The 3 teams with the best chance to make it out. Lakers twice are playing their best basketball of the season right now. People are saying they're contenders. I don't know. I'm not too concerned. But we'll get to see them twice. We'll get to really get a good sense of if they are or not in this next month. But we need to treat this next month like this is playoff simulation time. All right? This is playoff basketball in this next month because of how valuable that 1 seed is. And so with that in mind, once again, I predict J-Dub will be back within the next 2 weeks. He has to get in a rhythm before the postseason. This is serious business, guys. Fun and games are over. Schematically, it's over. Before 2 weeks of the season are left, we have to have J-Dub integrated. We have to have everything. You can mess around with the schemes if you want, but roster-wise, we have to have a rotation pretty solid. Pretty solid, okay? But for our team, there's never going to be a solid rotation, but we need to have our starters rolling and going into the postseason. We need that. We have to have it. Speaking of the postseason, here's a little brief preview because I'm not sure I'm going to see you guys before the playoffs, and I want to have kind of talks about it. Right now, the teams that we could face in the first round, Phoenix, LA, Clippers, Blazers, Warriors. I like that. I'm scared of a potential Nuggets falling into that play-in. I don't think that'll happen, but if it does, that would be a very tough round 1 matchup. But they'd have to lose a game to play in to meet us at the 1 seed. Out of those teams, you can make an argument for any of them to be a difficult-ish matchup. But like Portland, we can beat Portland. I'm not too worried about that. The Warriors, if we shut down Steph, I mean, there's not much there, but if they're healthy, still though. Give me the Blazers or the Clippers. Phoenix worries me a little bit. They're tough. They play hard. But give me the Blazers or the Clippers. I'm fine with Golden State. I'm fine with anybody. It's the playoffs. Any series is going to be difficult. We'll make it out though. We'll make it out of round 1, I believe. Here's the teams that concern me: San Antonio, Denver, Minnesota. And spoiler alert, guys, this is not going to be sunshine and rainbows. To get out of the West, we're going to have to go through one of them, or two of them, or two of them, or three of them. Worst case scenario, if Denver falls, but that's not going to happen. We'll have to go through one of them at least, though. All right? Think about it. Don't get the way the season has gone. Denver, we beat them 3 times, obviously, but we know they're better than what their record shows. We know they're better than what they have shown us, okay, in the postseason. Playing San Antonio in a 7-game series, playing Minnesota in a 7-game series, playing Denver, obviously with a better team, I think, in all those scenarios, but we'll have to play one of them. And so that's why we need to have our best foot forward. There's no easy route. There's no easy route in the West. We know this. We've known this for years. The West is the gauntlet. We got to start thinking about, though, we got to start preparing to start getting the arsenal ready for battle, okay? Now, in the East, if you want to know what team I think will make it out, give me Boston. Give me Boston. Enough said. Give me Boston. Okay. I don't need to explain why. I just think with Tatum and Brown, I think they're going to come back with vengeance. Now, for those of you still watching, I promised to you earlier to give you my brackets, to show you my picks for March Madness. You have about an hour or so. I don't know exactly when I'm going to post this, but you have about an hour or so to fill out your bracket if you want to copy mine just in case I get it right, which I believe I will. This is my year, guys. This is my year. I'm calling it now. I'm not LeBron. I know I'm getting it right. Go ahead and copy it now. All right, get ready. 3, 2, 1. Here it is. Boom. So this is my East and West region here. In my Final Four out here, I had St. John's, or my Elite Eight, I have St. John's, UConn, Arkansas, Purdue. I'm from Arkansas. I'm not a huge Razorbacks fan. I don't have anything against them. I'm just not a big Razorbacks fan. But I do believe, every year I've kind of picked against them. But this year I'm a believer. I think they have the pieces to make a run. I think they will be a Final Four team. I think Arizona, like I said, I shoot for the risky brackets. Okay, I'm a risk taker. Utah State over Arizona, unlikely, but would be electric, and I picked it. Sue me. So if that happens, I think Arkansas has a pretty easy path out of that region. St. John's over Duke is something difficult as well. Sometimes you got to pick a team and go for it. And I picked 2 here, Arkansas and St. John's, that are kind of flyers a bit. I wouldn't consider Arkansas a flyer. I consider St. John's more of a flyer. But you just got to go by your vibes, off the feeling. Last year I picked St. John's to win it. They were a second-round exit. So that's exciting. Actually, before that, it was 4 straight years the team I picked to win was a first-round exit. So we're hoping to break that streak this year, and you're going to see who I picked to win here as I scroll by, but it's okay. Don't look. Spoiler alert. Okay. Now, take a look at this region. These regions here. The South and the Midwest. In my Elite Eight, I have Florida, Illinois, Michigan, and Iowa State. Florida, I'm not a huge believer in them, but I do think if they face Vanderbilt, I think they'll get out of those first 2 rounds easily. Sweet 16 against Vanderbilt. I think they're not going to lose to Vanderbilt again. So give me Florida. They're too good to lose twice to that team. Illinois, Houston is a tough one. I think Houston's going to have a hard time losing that game in their home court, but it's March. Anything can happen. I think Illinois has the pieces to make a deep run in this tournament. I have in my Final Four. Michigan, Iowa State. I think Tech is dangerous, but without Toppin, they could be very limited and could have trouble against a team like Michigan. Trouble against a team like Alabama as well, but luckily for them, I have Alabama as a first-round exit. Will that happen? Probably not, but if it does, come back here because I was right, okay? But give me Iowa State in that region. Give me Iowa State. Hey, pick Santa Clara to beat Kentucky for J-Dub. That's for J-Dub, guys. Now to my Final Four. Arkansas, Iowa State, St. John's, Illinois. I think a Final Four like this would be great for the sport. 4 kind of flyers. And I have Iowa State winning. I've watched them play a lot this year. I'm a Big 12 guy. I'm actually an OSU fan. I know I was talking trash on them earlier, but I grew up a big OSU fan. So I now am partial to TU, but, we don't have to worry about that too much, right? Too much. Unless they meet in the NIT, the quarterfinals, yeah. The regional finals of the NIT would be in Tulsa, and Oklahoma State could play in that game if they are able to beat Wichita State and Tulsa's able to beat UNLV. That would be exciting. So, but anyway, I'm a big Big 12 guy, so I've watched a lot of Iowa State basketball. I think they have the pieces to make a deep run. I pick them to go deep every year, and they never do, really. So, it's like you don't want to be the one year you don't pick them to go deep. The one year they do go deep. So I went for it, and that's my bracket. So, with that being said, it is time for the most wonderful few weeks in basketball, folks. So, enjoy the games today. Enjoy all this. Hope you guys enjoyed this little preview to these games and Thunder basketball talk. I've loved being back with you guys. I missed you guys, and I'm going to continue missing you guys if I'm not able to get back on. Hopefully, if I have a break, I'll get back on here and talk to you guys. Just be on the lookout. I'll be communicating on my page, OKC_will-to-win. I'll be communicating. Make sure to follow me there. You will see me there. You'll hear my commentary game by game by game. So go find me there at OKC_will-to-win on Instagram. But be on the lookout because great things are ahead for the Will to Win show. We are not done. We are just getting started. So once again, thank you all. Have a blessed week. If you're on spring break, enjoy the crap out of it. If you're on spring break next week, enjoy the crap out of it. If you don't have a spring break, enjoy the crap out of your life because you deserve it, you wonderful human being. Thank you all, and we'll see you next time.